Thursday. What up, Justin? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Mike. It is always good to be here for another episode of Market Movers. Man, did we wished you were here yesterday, huh? What a day for you coming off of a nice, what was it, 5-0, 6-0?
Yeah, it was quite the day. Ended up being 6-0 totally there. Hit the NBA game last night as well, or the two NBA games. It was quite the day. I lost my tennis parlay, but in the action of losing it, I actually was able to profit just slightly by betting the other side of the one match that did not really go our way. So yeah, it was overall a really, really good day for me. Watching tennis now as well. Rublev Sinner, beautiful match going on. Not so much if you're Yannick Sinner right now, but it's a fun match to watch. Got some more baseball today.
Excited to sweat some live tennis, and then of course, get into this baseball slate we have today. Pretty busy one. Have a little bit of afternoon games. Then you got to jump a little bit later into the evening games, but a nice full slate. Excited to talk about it. Let's pull up the Sims and dive in. I don't know. Did you update anything with Tampa Bay now announcing a pitcher or no?
I did not. I did see that I correctly guessed Greinke would still pitch after being scratched yesterday for the postponed game. So it does look like Greinke is there. So that number is valid. But I did not run the first game of the day, which is probably frustrating and annoying to some of you because you all love day baseball, all love the first game of the day, but I did not end up getting to do that game.
It does happen. It does happen. I mean, I don't really know what anyone's really going to expect out of this game. We've been talking about the value that's been on the A's, and it's been hitting. So, I don't know what people are thinking today. I know that Cole Irvin had a little bit of a rough year last year. If you look at sort of what his stats were like and even how he started in his last start to open the year, he's not super trustworthy. Finished last season with a X slugging of 446. Not terrible. His best ever, though. It was 574, 518 the years before that. So he's a little bit of a liability. xERA was 4.92 last year after a 6 and a 7 his first 2 years. I don't really trust the guy. I think the Rays probably finally get around to winning one of these games.
I tend to lean that way. But I will say the model, it would likely have just neutral value on Oakland. It would probably be right on market. Just based off what I've seen from it all season so far. But not gonna bet it. Not maybe we'll watch it, look for some in-game opportunities, but nothing really standing out for me on this one.
I'm gonna bet against Cole Irvin today. Is how I'm really gonna approach it. I just don't see him having the success that the Oakland A's want him to. I think Tampa Bay is looking to kind of put some runs on the board. I mean, I know, look, it is still a plus pitching environment, so he isn't going to have the hardest time here, but I'm going to take a little bit of a look at him. I have 2 plays up on my premium channel. I'm going to take the Rays to score 3 runs in the first 5 innings or more. So over 2.5 in the first 5, trying to get, again, Irvin, I think should be able to give up 3 or 4. I don't think that is far from an expected outcome for him. That's going to be minus. I've got that at minus 115. It's actually moved on me the other way. I think you can get it plus 105 because the total's fallen from 8.5 to 8 this morning on this game. And then I have Cole Irvin issuing 2 walks at plus 130, so over 1.5. I'm going to play him to issue some walks. I think these Rays batter will have a good eye today. So yeah, over 1.5 walks and Rays to score 2.5 runs in the first 5. So it'll be an interesting way to play it. But yeah, let's hope Cole Irvin stinks today, man.
Very interesting way to play it. That is for sure. I'm going to check, Chief. That's enough, buddy. I want to check one thing. Ooh. So do you have anything else to talk on this game? I want to see some umpire data on this game as well.
Okay. I mean, I can let everybody know a little bit more about why I don't like Irvin. It hasn't really been pretty for him in terms of pitching really at all. Like most of his games, he does give up 3 runs. Only a couple times did he ever give up 1 or 2. It's just his list of games did not look good last year. And again, I just think this is a little bit situational too. What are they about to get, like 4 games swept by the Oakland A's, who everybody said is one of the worst offenses, and they can't really stop them. So this is a pretty big game for Tampa Bay early in the season. They can't just keep losing early. In a division that's going to be battling all season, they need these wins outside of the AL East.
Yeah, no, it's a huge spot for them. As far as the umpire, not terribly glaring. He had a massive under streak last year, about 60% towards the under, but still giving up a healthy number of walks, which is what I'm typically looking for based off that play you're talking about. But yeah, nothing for me on this one. Happy to move to the next one. Very fascinating. Some of the news we've seen, obviously, in this Chicago game, definitely some line movement towards Seattle. Some of it is due to the day game and the lineup that the White Sox are running out there. Some of it is due to Lambert taking the spot of Giolito. Obviously, we knew it was going to be Lambert. He's not stretched out. He's not ready to go. He's not going to pitch more than 3.5 to 4 innings in this game unless he's just absolutely mowing them down. I don't expect him to go past the 4th inning, personally. Gilbert on the other side. A lot of good reviews out of him. There's a lot of people, especially in that organization, but around them, that really are pretty bullish on Logan Gilbert overall. I'm a little more kind of in the middle. I'm not super high on him overall personally. And then the Seattle team, I don't think they're as good as people think that they are. I think that they're okay. They're a team that I don't expect them to like legitimately make the playoffs. I don't expect them to make noise, anything like that, like some of the other people that I know do. One thing I've studied a lot actually is travel situations. They have the worst travel situation in all of Major League Baseball. You look at where they're located geographically to every other opponent in their division. Brutal trips from Seattle to Dallas, Seattle to LA. Go look up how the distance in that one.
Seattle's just very north. Seattle's so north, like it makes for a big travel. And we do talk about it a lot too. They're also going to be leaving. It's going to be interesting to watch them travel because they do play in such a strong park, like it's not like this is some neutral park either. So a very interesting thing to pay attention to with them. I saw the White Sox money line today at like plus 108, plus 106. And I mean, look at what your models are saying, right? Like minus 134 for the White Sox. So that's a lot of value. Look, the model had a great day. Your model had a great day yesterday. I see no reason why the White Sox can't get this game done. I also don't love this Seattle offense, to be honest with you. A little bit on the weak side, a lot of young guys. I mean, Eugenio Suarez and Jesse Winker are due to have bad days for this team. A lot of youth on that squad. Abraham Toro isn't even playing, but they got him from the Astros. He might see the field today. But I don't know. We're gonna have to see how this one goes. I'm on the White Sox though. I know you are too, right?
Yeah, I'm on the White Sox in the first 5 innings, which is how we've been playing them across the board here. So model's been with an edge on them pretty much every day against them in this series and still is here. So that's how I've played it. There's a little more variance in this particular game than the other games. Wow, my number is 134. I like it. I trust it. There's a little bit more unknown with Jimmy Lambert. There just is.
Right.
Getting called up again to make this spot start because Giolito is out. Probably going to make multiple spot starts for them. It looks like it, at least 2. I think that he should be fine. I think he's going to get through this order 1.5 times. I don't expect them to go deep. I don't expect them to ask him to go deep. So what I'm looking for here is 4 innings out of him, and we're going to bring in the bullpen again. I think they're okay using it up just a little bit. Chicago stays at home after this again. It is not a getaway series for them. That is something to keep in mind in these kind of situations. So I'm on Chicago again for the first 5 innings. Going to keep riding that with the model edges here.
Nice. Yep. I mean, that's like me and how I've played this Guardians team total every day. It's just like they give you plus money at 04.5 on this team. I mean, they're just raking it. Sometimes you got to take the plus money. And this is a good line. I mean, this is just a good line. I'll take plus money on this White Sox team that is one of the most potent in the American League every day. Give it to me. All right. Adam Wainwright, Brandon Woodruff squaring off here. Oh, we have a question about Gilbert from Drew. Thoughts on Logan Gilbert under 5.5 strikeouts, -120. It's a little bit juicy for me. White Sox only strike out after 5.8 games. But if you don't think he's going to play that much here, if you think he's out of the game, I don't hate it. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Mike?
I don't hate it. The White Sox lineup is watered down just a little bit for this day game. I would lean under for sure, though. I don't like the over at that point. I think it's pretty efficient where it's at. It's just going to come down to how long of a leash are they going to give him here on this getaway day.
Yeah.
I lean with you on the under, but I don't love it, Drew. I lean that way, though. Next game, pretty big edge, at least from last night's numbers. Probably not so much from where the market has moved. Adam Wainwright on the road. Brandon Woodruff making his second start. Opening day in Milwaukee after a somewhat disappointing start to the season for the Brewers, I would say. Just not taking more games from the Cubs would definitely be disappointing for them. I'm on St. Louis.
Or the Orioles.
I played St. Louis in the first 5. This number is +130. I got it +126. You could find it +130 last night. Definitely come down a bit since then. At least it did. I'm going to go back and check where we're at.
I see +124, +125 is still out there.
Nice.
Not bad.
I was seeing +115 earlier, so I don't know if we've had some more movement back the other way.
I see +115 at BetMGM, but Caesars has 125. Might be off the book now, but PointsBet and BetRivers might. Definitely think DraftKings is +120 though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
okay.
Should be an interesting game. I'm probably going to tail you on it. I haven't. This is a little bit later. I've had a busy morning with my actual job, so I'm going to get to my bets on this game. I haven't really bet that second half of the day today. I think I agree though. Look, I mean, Woodruff is really good, and he's probably due to have a nice game. But this St. Louis offense is clicking. Nolan Arenado is just seeing the ball incredibly. I don't hate the over in this game. Again, these teams know each other. I wouldn't be shocked if St. Louis does play some runs. I don't hate their team total. Playing their team total over maybe even in the first 5 because there's going to be a lot of respect to Woodruff. But I don't know. That first start was not pretty. There again, he should bounce back, but it isn't the easiest target to bounce back with. Like not at all. Like good luck bouncing back against this offense. Like this lineup is pretty tough to hit. It's Goldie, O'Neill, Arenado, Dickerson. Arenado's pulling his weight. Like he has a 1.18 slugging percentage, Mike. Like that is an absurd start to the year. His on base is 471, 3 home runs. He is absolutely destroying the ball. And so, yeah, I mean, and they're not even getting anything from Yadier Molina. He's batting 0.83. This is, I don't know. I like that probably an early team total. They've been really good on those lines. They've been scoring early. That's what happens when you have, key hitters locked in. So, I lean that way.
I'm sure another. Yeah, I played first 5 only.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a play against Woodruff. It's not a play against the Brewers. It's a play against Woodruff for the most part. You see a lot of what I do is going to be first 5s just because it's so pitching dependent in the simulation here. And I personally usually you like to gain from some of the variance. I like to kind of avoid it a little bit. Woodruff, though, we need to talk about how bad he's been. You say Ben, it's 1 start, but in spring training, not good either. 11.2 innings pitched in spring training, 16 hits, 15 runs, 14 earned runs, 6 home runs in 11 and a half innings in spring training, 12 strikeouts total. Still getting a strikeout per inning, but has not been good. And the Brewers pitching staff in general has really, really taken a hit. And it makes you wonder if they are one that is not enjoying the new rule about having a league-provided rosin bag on the mound. Do you have any thoughts on that? We'll investigate some of the spin rates at some point. But
Yeah, no, I heard about that one. And then, it still is the new baseball. And, there's a lot going on. Guys trying to get a grip on this thing is definitely tough. Like you said, the rosin bag is different. You can't put what you want in there. And look, this is what they're doing with the game. This is what they're doing with the game. I'm looking at Woodruff. You were not wrong about spring training this year. I mean, this is just gross. The Rangers, the Guardians, and the Diamondbacks blew him up. He only lasted 3 innings against the Diamondbacks, which is pretty gross. I don't think he's in a great spot. You're really making me feel like this over 1.5 in the first 5 innings for the Cardinals at -110 is going to be pretty easy. You can also get the plus run. You can also get the +5 in the first 5 at -115. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of juice. But I don't know. I think the money line
that play was very close to making my play. So I have him on the money line +126 for first 5, but half a run -115 is very, very close.
It is. Yeah. It is. I think I really like the over 1.5 because Wainwright, I just feel like I want to take him out of the equation if I can. And I definitely agree with fading Woodruff. So I'll probably be putting the over 1.5 team total in the first 5 on my sheet for the Cardinals. 2 runs. I mean, I just don't think that's a lot to ask for basically 50-50 plus the VIG, right? And that's essentially what they're giving you. So I'll take my chances on Nolan Arenado hitting a home run in his first 2 times up at the plate and having someone on base, especially if Woodruff can't contain anything. I mean, this is not just like kind of bad, right? This is like legitimately atrocious. We're talking about a 10.22 expected ERA. Yeah, his ERA is 17.18, but it wasn't like things just didn't go his way. Yeah, 10.22 xERA, 9.1 K rate, down from 28% in his career. His xwOBAcon is at 48.48. This is unbelievably bad for him. Slugging percentage has never been this high. X-slug is at 55.9. You got to bet against him until he gets right. And I don't think he's going to be right today. I think this is a tough lineup to go against. So let's officially, I'm going to lock in the team total over 1.5 at -110, unless I can find a better line. Give me 2 seconds. But all right, let's move on though, because we tend to take our time on some of these games. What do you think about Joan Adon and JT Brubaker for the Pirates? Tough game.
Yeah, this is tough. 2 teams that not great baseball teams at this point. It takes a little bit while to get used to the Nationals not being like decent or relevant, really. To me, they're not decent or relevant at this point. Kind of evident by the simulation here, basically even money against the Pirates. Pirates definitely, they're making improvements, but they're certainly not a real threat anywhere. I would say the most interesting part of this, though, is we've seen a lot of buying on the Pirates overnight. A lot of buying. And I don't necessarily agree with it just because the Nationals still have a few hitters that are dangerous at the plate. But I don't feel great about it. So it's pushed it into territory where I should probably be playing Washington as we're getting +110, +115 in the market. Generally, I don't love to play those situations where there wasn't an edge at open. Market's made a very clear stance on the Pirates, and now I have value on Washington. I don't like to bet into those situations too much unless we get really big value. Can you make a case for me betting on Washington here?
No. I need to see what Adon can do in extended work in the majors before I really start betting on him. He has nice numbers in the minors, but I don't really trust him right now in the majors. He's only thrown 2 starts, and it looks like every single peripheral is in the bottom quarter percentile. He got lit up by the Mets. I don't know if he's going to be able to handle this. He's a righty, which might help some of the lefties on this Pirates team. We saw, them handle, was it like Rich Hill or so? Who did they did pretty well. Yeah. Oh, it was Hendricks, right? And so Hendricks had a really tough time against them yesterday. They put up 6 runs in the first 2 innings and then fell off in the way the Pirates do. And we didn't even hit the over 8.5, one of the most frustrating losses for my early season. But, nonetheless, I think this Pirates team might be seeing the ball well. I'm going to check their VMI ratings to see if they have a nice favorable advantage being home today and what, if anything, is known about this Adon guy. Again, he's pretty new. He hasn't thrown more than 200 pitches in the major leagues in the last 2 years. So probably a good pass, maybe fade him just in the sense of like playing the team total for the Pirates in the first 5 again. They've been pretty effective on that. Terrible hitting conditions, though. Air density is 70 out in Pittsburgh for this game. Yeah, I'm not touching it. I think they might be able to pitch well, if anything. I know it's a bad over day in general. A lot of bad hitting conditions across the country. Under 9 might not be the worst play that you might be able to see the bullpens clean up. I don't know. Not touching this one, Mike. Let's heck no. I don't have a feel.
Yeah. For me, if Washington gets to like, I'm seeing plus 114 as a best price. I have to start considering it there at FanDuel. If we get to plus 120, it'll probably be a 0.2 unit sprinkle for me on Washington. The pitching conditions are very favorable for them. So, while his peripherals don't look great, and they haven't, it's a pretty good overall pitching environment for him.
Yes, it is.
He's basically got to fade the top 3 of the order initially. Vogelbach and Reynolds back-to-back, batting from the left-hand side of the plate. That will be tough for him. He's got to manage the first inning. Really, it's really dumb comment to say you got to manage the first inning. It's very important for every pitcher to manage the first inning, but really, really important for Adon in this situation. So I'm leaning towards betting them if we get it around plus 120, though.
I don't hate it. Again, Pirates have been performing pretty well, but this is tough hitting spot. You have 9.3 on the board here. I don't know if I agree. Look, I guess Adon is going to give them these opportunities. I need to look at the lines here for this game really quick. I was just typing up on the Discord, putting that play up. So officially am taking the St. Louis team total over 1.5 in the first 5 innings. But yeah, expected to get 2.5 in the first 5 seems a little low for Adon. I think he could get crushed again. I just don't know if he has it. I don't know if he has the right stuff. They're barreling him up. It's not pretty. He got 3 barrels in that first game against the Mets. They just got him. So I don't think he's thrown well. Let me see how he did in spring training this year. If he did go and perform at all. No, wait. Yeah, he did. He pitched badly. He pitched well against the Marlins. He pitched 2 innings. Then he pitched 3 innings against the Marlins again. 5 days later, they got him for 4 runs in 3 innings, 2 home runs given up. And then he played the Cardinals, and they tagged him for 3 and 4 innings, and they gave up a home run there too. You know what? I don't think this guy's really trustable, Mike. I don't hate the Pirates over 2.5 team total in the first 5. I don't over 5 in the first 5 also because JT Brubaker isn't that crazy either. I don't know. We can probably just move on from this one, though.
We could definitely move on. A lot of time on that game. Philly and Miami. This one's super interesting for me. It's going to be in Miami. Pretty good pitching environment overall. Sandy Alcantara, someone we like. Might be surprising for some people to see the Sims having Miami favored in this game. Sportsbooks have them favored as well. Right up to my simulation number. It's weird, like, explaining this to people sometimes, but, like, I have Miami favored, and that might feel weird, and I feel very confident in that, and I see the market in the same spot. I fully expected the market to be minus 115 on the Philly side, and we're getting value with Alcantara at home. Mm-hmm. We don't get it, so I don't get to bet the game, and that part sucks, but it feels really good to be on that side, if that makes sense, right? So it feels good that, like, the simulation is telling me the Miami Marlins are the better team in this particular matchup, in this particular game. The market agrees with it. I don't get to bet on them. That sucks. But again, it feels good because if you blindly just look at the games, typically you're thinking Philly pretty much all day here, right?
Probably. I mean, again, I think it's a little bit of recency bias here. because Gibson destroyed in his first start and Alcantara did not. I mean, he held the A's to 7 scoreless runs, 10 strikeouts, 2 hits, no walks. Like, it was a gem from Gibson at home to open the year. I don't know if he does it again. I just don't. I think he just literally he spun around these Oakland A's hitters. I think it was good hitting conditions too, and it was a cold day in Philly on last weekend. So I don't know. I think you probably fade the recency bias and you take Miami, but that's about it. Again, if Gibson can throw like that again, they don't stand a chance. They just don't.
Yeah. I think that the problem with that is I don't think you want to start getting into paying more than minus 115 for Miami in this spot.
Exactly.
I also played this game. I'm not going to tell you exactly how I played it on the show here. We're going to leave that. It's on Discord. It's on Sportsline. Nice. It's a very interesting play. It is not a money line play. It is a play on the total in the game.
Nice.
Next game, though, Toronto and the Yankees. Another team the model has been all over recently, which is sad for you probably. The model has had Toronto favored in every game. The market is not. The model has. Mm-hmm. And kind of the same thing today. And I will tell you, I don't love it. Gausman is super interesting. I think that he has the ability to get absolutely lit up against this Yankee lineup at times. Let me hear your thoughts as a Yankee fan on this game and tell me where you're going. And do I have to bet Toronto here again at plus 105 or plus 110?
You do need to bet it. First of all, for whatever reason, Yankees should not be this favorite. It's not about just being favorite. It's about like giving us plus money on this Blue Jays team who clearly can just like crush the ball. Look, I know that there are stats out there that show that Severino is good against this roster and that Gausman has struggled against the AL East in general. He was here for a long time with the Baltimore Orioles. Yankees lit him up plenty of times. I miss those days. I hope that happens, but I don't think it's going to. It's not going to be the prettiest of days to hit, believe it or not. It isn't terrible, but it isn't great. I don't know. I don't trust the Yankees right now. I mean, they couldn't muster up much yesterday. And the underdog has been winning a lot of games against these teams. Like, it's just the Vegas gets these games wrong a lot. I'm going to take the value on the Blue Jays. I definitely think it's the right side. I'm officially on them for sure. I'm always happy to fade the Yankees because you just get such a good price. Like, we've talked about it plenty. Like, just take the other side of the Yankee tax. It's like it's hard not to if you play mathematically almost. So.
Yep, you get such a good price. It's painful for me because I can get them at plus 120 on DraftKings right now.
Wow.
Obvious play. I have them at minus 114. You have to play it. I haven't locked it in yet. I want to fade myself on this one. I want to fade the computer on this one. I think the Yankees get the job done tonight in this matchup. I don't trust my own ratings on Kevin Gausman. I just don't. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to end up playing Toronto later, letting it move. But I think the Yankees are a very clear sharp side in the market today.
They are.
I think that this game, I honestly think they close minus 140 in this spot. So I'm going to wait it out and get the absolute best possible price on Toronto because, again, the numbers out there. A lot of people, you probably see this on Discord. You might see them on Sportsline. You might see, why do you have this edge and why are you not playing this one? Why are you playing this other one that's like very much not a huge edge compared? And the answer is I still use it as a tool, right? I'm not blindly playing every edge. I'm running the simulations, finding the edges, and then I'm finding the edges that align with some of the other analysis that I like to do that is more difficult to bake into the simulation without making overly aggressive assumptions, which you don't want to always do, especially this early in the season. So I'm telling you, I want to fade the model on Toronto here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to probably play Toronto right before first pitch.
I don't think you can pay up for the Yankees. That's the thing. That's just my final word on that.
I should correct that. When I say fade it, I mean I'm not going to go the other side. I'm just going to avoid the game. That's what I mean. I'm not backing the Yankees by any means, but I might ignore the value on Toronto.
Right.
Because
the best bet you make is the one you don't.
Comfortable with Gausman's rating.
Yep. Just a pass is like a handicapper that knows when to pass is a good one. Like I'd rather, I'm not forcing it. I think it's the right call. Your model is usually onto something. I don't love this Yankees roster ability to hit and improve Gausman, who's literally, they brought him in. They brought him in because they think he's going to be able to handle his work here. If they didn't think he was going to be able to handle the AL East, they would not bring him in. They've clearly seen something change in his game. He was an effective pitcher last year. I look, a lot of people are not buying. I'll tell you that much. I watched him fall in a lot of drafts compared to his ADP that a lot of auto drafts did, right? People are not buying Kevin Gausman right now, and I think that gives you an even better price. And clearly your model is looking at the numbers, and his numbers indicate that you should be buying. So yeah. All right, we can leave it there. We'll see what prevails today. Severino didn't have a great start to start the year either. It could be a contrarian over tonight, but who knows? A lot of people are on the under. All right, let's go into LA against Texas. Dane Dunning has been someone we're happy to pick on sometimes. Shohei Ohtani, threw a gem to open the season. Does he do it again? Is there recency bias? Texas, got swept by the Rockies?
Yep. Hey, so don't knock it. The model liked the Rockies all week there, buddy.
I know. It's still just comical because the Rockies were one of the worst road teams in baseball, and now they literally have a sparkling 3-0 road record. I just find that hilarious. Baseball is a hilarious sport. There's so much variance in this game.
This game is interesting to me. I am 1-0 on the season, fading Shohei Ohtani. Okay. If they're not playing interleague play against the Dodgers or elite series matchups with the top end of the Astros rotation, Ohtani is going to have his own Yankee tax built in. There's an Ohtani tax when he's on the mound. People want to watch when he gets to bat and pitch in the same game.
Yep.
The Angels are flat out inflated when he takes the mound. It's just the reality of the situation, right? So unfortunately, there's not enough value. They haven't been inflated to the point where I can get to Texas. The only thing I'm going to say about Texas here is it's very close to the Oakland A's and it's very close to Colorado over the last week of the season. My model has been neutral to value on that side every single game. And if you bet them all, you would be up pretty significantly. Same thing here for Texas. My true number plus 129, that's approaching where it is in the market. You might get to 130. There's no edge playing a 130 when we should have a plus 129 here. There's no edge in doing that. However, there's no negative value in doing it either. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm totally not playing the Angels in this game. And I do think that with these teams like this, you're going to be more profitable than not betting against Shohei Ohtani this year, believe it or not.
I agree with you. One of the worst hitting conditions in baseball today is Globe Life. It's going to be cold and there's a lot of wind blowing, and it's going to be blowing straight across the field, which we know can cause a little bit of deterrence here. There are not good hitting conditions today. The only place that has a plus run percentage, according to Ballpark Pal, is Coors Field. So everything else is a little bit of a reduction. Globe Life having the worst. I believe it. I don't think it's going to be great weather there today. Neither team has a high visual memory index. Texas is not great. It's about middling. I don't know how they're going to do against Ohtani. Ohtani is the type of guy who can twist you up if you're over aggressive. But if you're calm and wait, he will make mistakes. So it's just, which do you get? Again, he's a hitter first. People really like that he pitches, but he's not this ace pitching talent. He is in a top 3 or 4 tier in baseball pitching talent. So it's just entertaining.
I think that it's a funny question. I want to ask people too, obviously, who do you think has the better lineup between these two? Because I am very confident the Rangers have a better offensive lineup than the Angels. And that is crazy to say because they have 2 of the top 5 hitters in Major League Baseball in the Angels lineup.
Yep.
But it's Ohtani, Trout, Rendon. And then after that, we got Walsh, Jack Mayfield, Brandon Marsh, Jose Rojas, Max Stassi, and Tyler Wade.
Who? Right. No, I agree.
It's absolutely
I agree. And Texas has pieces. Texas has offensive pieces now. They did decently. They do have some parts. Their lineup is just a lot better. You're talking Semien at the top. They got Corey Seager. They have Lowe is pretty good. Solak isn't a bad hitter. Willie Calhoun brings the power. He just got a home run. He's starting the season slow. Cole Calhoun. They got 2 Calhouns. Like, this is not a bad lineup. Brad Miller, is that his name? He's playing pretty well.
Yeah, Brad Miller lead off. They've got Adele won't even be in the lineup. The problem, McWinney, Adele is such a liability at times that he's not even projected in the lineup a lot of the time here. So, yeah,
but it's going to be it's going to be an interesting game. I don't hate taking the plus money on a home team that needs a win. Losing 3 in a row, and they beefed up this lineup. They went and they got Corey Seager, man. Like, I don't think this is a team that loses 3 in a row, 4 in a row at home. So yeah, I really like the plus money just on the principle of it all. I'm not really. I think you fade those taxes, right? The Shohei Ohtani tax, the Yankee tax, like those are things that, if you just play principled against them, you're likely just going to be getting too good of a price that even if it goes how it might, or like how it's supposed to expected, if it goes as expected, you're going to win money because of the tax. So I always like those plays. I'll probably end up putting some money on Texas out of principle. All right, let's talk about this next game. We have Atlanta and Joe Musgrove. 7.1 team total. I mean, total jumps off the page to me. 7.5 on the books. I don't hate an over here. I don't really trust these pitchers. I don't know your thoughts on them, though.
Yeah, I lean under pretty heavily in this game. So it's really good pitching environment overall. Watered down lineup, really on both sides from what we're used to seeing. Definitely on the Padres side. I overall, I just think it's such a great pitching environment. So I think that this is a decent spot for an under. Other than that, I don't have a ton of interest in the game. I think a lot of people are probably going to blindly bet the Atlanta Braves in this spot.
Yeah.
That's just my guess. I don't know, but I think a lot of them really like the Braves still, and they kind of downgrade the Padres without Tatis in lineup. I was hoping that I'd be able to catch the Padres at plus money. I would have some interest in that on their home field. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Still watching, still holding out, but doesn't look like it's going to get there. So if it did, I would be interested if we could find a plus 110, which is always possible with this late night game. We could see some movement this afternoon, but as of right now, I can't get to the side. I have a pretty healthy lean on the under. Undecided if I'm playing an under first 5 or not.
Yeah, I definitely think it's San Diego here or nothing. I'm not taking Atlanta after traveling across the country. They have a pretty bad VMI changing environments here today. I would not be surprised to see Musgrove pitch well. That's where I would target and I will do that probably later. I'll probably play Musgrove up. I think he's probably a good player to be looking at today. He's probably going to pitch very well. Again, negative VMI. I'm pretty sure he isn't a loose pitcher. Yeah, he's tight, which means, he does very well against a negative VMI team and succeeds very well in these high ADI situations. Again, the air density index in San Diego for the game today is expected to be 68.5, which is actually a little low for out there, but still pretty high for pitching in general environment in general. It's going to be, I like Musgrove today. I definitely agree with you. Temperature is 64 degrees, humidity 55, 8.8 wind going west. I don't really know how that lines up at the park. Give me 1 second. Okay, it's blowing sort of in towards first. I think this is the correct play. I'm not going to touch the under just because it's low. And maybe an under on ATL's team total, if anything. If I want an underplay, but yeah. All right, cool. A couple more games. Detroit against Kansas City. Are we talking about this one now that we know that Greinke's in?
Yeah, we can definitely talk about it. It's a very similar situation. I'm not going to get to bet it. I do think that there's a decent chance the Tigers still win here. I don't like the Tigers. I think that the Tigers and the Mariners are two teams that are highly overrated in just general communities, sports betting communities. However, in this spot, I do think this is a spot that they could potentially steal one. Much like the Rangers game, much like the A's games that we've seen, model value is dead on. No real value. Plus 112 is the plus 110, plus 115 you're going to find in the market, basically. So no real edge to betting the game. I'll watch it, look for in-game opportunities. I think that Bobby Witt is still a little underpriced. And then on the other side, I think that there are some interesting pieces that could get to Greinke. I don't think Greinke's really blowing anyone away at this point in his career. You can still manage a game well, which is likely why the simulation has them as a favorite, why the market's buying on them up to minus 130. But overall, there's nothing I can get to in this one.
I agree. I mean, look, I think it's hard for me to take the Royals right now. They have not looked great. This is a pretty rough spot for them. I mean, they just traveled to St. Louis to play that one game, right? And now they're back home again. So that's a
game they didn't even get to play that was postponed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, it's so they're in like a weird spot. I don't hate fading teams in weird spots like this, like weird travel spots, like they aren't like settled. But they played Tuesday though, right? They had a 2-game series and the second one got canceled, or what happened with that?
Let me look at the schedule again and see. The travel is basically irrelevant. It's very minimal travel.
Yeah, I know, but it's still like a weird spot, I feel like. So I don't know. I'm not really like jumping in on anything in this.
Yes, it was a 2-game series. They played the first one on Tuesday. They missed the second game yesterday.
Yeah, now they're home. Their VMI is super negative today for whatever reason. So if I don't really know if maybe the price is probably bad. Or better now, you have some better value on Mize because he had a terrible opening game, but he isn't pitching in the worst place today. Against a team with a bad VMI, he could succeed. If you're getting good prices on him, I wouldn't hate looking at him. But yeah, actually, wow. Actually, Mize might struggle. I take that back. It looks like his pitch type might do worse against a negative VMI team. So that'll be interesting. All right, next game up, a couple more to go. Chicago, Freeland. Again, probably the Rockies, decent price. What are you thinking?
Yeah, that's one of my plays today. I gave this on the Sports Line earlier this morning. I'm on the Rockies first 5 on the run line. Nice. Comes back at plus 110. They must be winning at the end of the game. The end of the first 5 innings. So this is a spot where, for one, I wouldn't play the Rockies home run line pretty much ever, personally. I don't like to bet run lines on home teams unless I'm doing it in the first 5 innings, just because you're not batting in the 9th inning if you're winning, right? You're just not. And if you're not winning heading to the 9th inning, it's got to end in a home run. Like you've got to have a multi-run home run to get yourself to cover that number, right? So really, really difficult spot. I would highly recommend not playing home team run lines. I know it's enticing. I know you see favorites and you think they're going to win by 2 runs, and they likely will. Don't do it. If you want to bet them like that, personally, I prefer to do it in the first 5 innings where they get the opportunity, no matter what, to hit in the bottom of the 5th inning. But what it's really about here, massive negative VMI for the Chicago Cubs coming from Pittsburgh off to Colorado here. Colorado is built to hit left-handed pitching. They crushed left-handed pitching last year. They got even better this year in the lineup. Connor Joe at the top now. Chris Bryant, CJ Cron, crushed lefties. Randall Grichuk in the lineup, crushes lefties. Elias Diaz, catcher, hits lefties well. Brendan Rodgers will also hit from the right side. Jose Iglesias, Garrett Hampson, all going to hit right-handed. Both of these teams, incredibly right-handed, both facing left-handed pitchers, but Freeland has a lot of experience pitching in these situations. Look for Steele to struggle just a little bit the first time through the order.
I agree with you. There's also some wind out there in Colorado today. It's going to be very interesting. I have to dive a little deeper into this. The ADI 48, it's just so low. Probably see a couple home runs out there today. Again, I really like what Chris Bryant and CJ Cron are doing for this team. This is kind of what I thought it was going to be like. Just a lot more offense this year for this team. And again, like you said, I don't know how their pitchers managed to do so well in this environment, but they have figured it out. Very excited for this game. Probably have some plays up on it later.
Yes, definitely. We'll talk about VMI. I promise we're going to do an actual VMI episode it won't be live. It'll just be an episode we record. And we'll break that down so you can learn a little bit more about that. But
yeah,
long story short, the way the pitches will break and the way the batters will see the pitches, drastically different for both teams, really, but not so much for Colorado. I don't buy into Colorado's as much because they're mostly comfortable playing in that environment and they're mostly used to it. But on the other side for opposing teams, definitely a big issue the first game of the series.
It's also even a big issue for the pitcher who's never pitched there before. Like you're literally, as a pitcher, you're going to go release your ball and put the spin on it that you normally do, and it's going to break half an inch less, right? So like you almost
actually about 3 inches in this
right.
situation.
I was trying to be conservative, like on like even like a fastball, but on a breaking ball, yeah, it's a totally different thing. The ball is hitting off against less air particles, so it has less to move against, and that's a big deal. There are things, and then and then the ball can just be ripped because there's less resistance in the air pressure. So it's a big deal. I really love the weather aspect of baseball. It makes for some fun gambling. This should be an exemplary game of that. If Steele struggles, I would not be surprised. Maybe his earned run over prop wouldn't be a bad play today.
Yep. All right, last game. Home opener for the Dodgers.
Yeah. With Walker Buehler on the mound. This is going to be an interesting game. Minus 279 here. They are juiced to heck. I do not hate this Cincinnati team, but I don't know. I'm not touching it.
To tell you what the model thinks of how good the Dodgers are, they are massively inflated, and we still don't have betting value on the Cincinnati Reds. 226 is right where the market. Okay, we maybe do. If you find the 235s in the market, maybe. There's a couple maybe, but most of them are going to be 220, 230. Can't even recommend it. I would need a full 250 to be able to consider taking the Cincinnati Reds in this spot. So,
it's also Luis Sessa.
Yeah.
Which, as a Yankee fan, I can advise you might not be pretty. I'd look into him having some trouble. The Dodgers look to have picked it up. I mean, they were struggling, right? The team was struggling. But it looks like Max Muncy is seeing the ball a bit better, hit a home run, getting some walks like he's supposed to. And that's a big deal in that lineup. He was literally ice cold in the first couple games. But they're going to warm up. They're going to be the Dodgers everybody expects them to be. I'm definitely I've been really enjoying these first 5 team total overs against pitchers that I am uncertain on. I think my hit rate has been really good on them. So it's probably going to be something I'm going to continue betting. So I'm just looking at the line right now. I think if you're looking for a fun play out of this one, this is probably a good way to do it. Let's see what they're giving us. The team total runs is over 2.5 minus 120 against Luis Sessa. Like that's just not crazy for this Dodgers team. And I know 120 is a little steep. We try to stay away from that, but man, there's a reason. I mean, you can even, that's what's so funny, Mike, is that the over 2.5 in the first 3 innings. I mean, the over in the runs for is 2.5 in 3 innings and 2.5 in 5 innings. It's kind of funny. So yeah, I like that over 2.5 minus 120. That's going to make my sheet. We can end it there. That's probably a great pick. Also probably Dodgers first 5 run line, even though we don't love that, it should happen.
Yeah, that one is you got to lay minus 1.5 in the first 5 to even be able to play the run line on it. So I'm probably going to stay off of it. If I did, it would be a team total in the first 5. Like that's you're talking about.
Such a better play.
Much better play in that spot. So that's really all I've got for you guys. All we've got for you guys today. Just want to drop the Discord link in the chat. If you're not on Discord, make sure you join us over there. You can now join with YouTube. It is a little easier than Twitch. You can't do it for free like you can on Twitch if you have Amazon Prime. But if you click the join button up here on YouTube, it is easier to link. There is an actual little blog post that is on the community page here on Number Edge. You can see all the step-by-step instructions on how to link it. And you can get linked very quickly over on Discord. Go hang out. Got some live tennis. I've got a nice little tennis sweat going on right now in the tennis channel while we're streaming today. And we would love to have you guys over there. And I think that's it. We'll see you guys back tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.